everybody. I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Lookback, where we go back a year, 5 years, and 10 years, and I tell you about the reviews I did then and what I think about the games now. Now, in this particular episode, I'm only taking a look at games from a year and 5 years ago, because 10 years ago, I must have been busy this week with my real-life job, which I had 10 years ago. But here we go. So let's take a look at a year ago. First of all, we have Second Chance. This is a roll and write game where if you have these Tetris shapes that you're drawing in, and if you don't like it, you get a second, if you're about to lose the game, you can do like a second chance, draw another card. It's okay. There's just so many of these games out there. This one was okay. What the Heck is a bidding game of sorts, but again, it's a little card game, and again, it's just kind of one of those, it's okay game. House Flippers. I really like this game, but I only gave it a 6 here instead of a 7, and that's because I don't know who I would play this game against. It's a speed game where you have cards that give you cubes, and then you turn in those cubes, and there's timers, and you flip timers to do different things. And I'm very good at the game, but if I played someone who's faster than me, they would be better than me. And this is a very one-time, one-shot game. There's not a lot to recommend unless you like a silly speed game, but even then I have a hard time imagining you'd play it more than once. Topia. This is an intriguing little game that did not get more buzz. I thought this was one of the first games I played, and then COVID came, and this was right after that, and I thought, oh, this is a game that people are going to play, building little trains out. It had a neat concept. Tile laying, I liked it. It just never seemed to take off, but I enjoyed it. Ratville. This one is like a post-apocalyptic style game, and it's one of those games where you play a card at the same time other people do and reveal them. It's a neat concept. This one looks lighter than it is, I think. It has a good theme to it. Santa Monica, beautiful art about building your own Santa Monica pier in front of you from AEG. It's another lighter style game where you're placing cards, building this pier, and then also moving people around. I feel like this one has a good amount of replayability. It's certainly one, again, I think a lot of people missed. You should check it out. I also took a look at a lot of Funkoverse stuff, including the Kool-Aid Man. So there was many reviews for Funkoverse. Sorcerer City. This is one, I really like this game. The reason it doesn't get an excellence is because the game's a little too big to box. It takes up a ton of table space, and the tiles aren't that beautiful, which they should be in this kind of game. But other than that, it's a real-time build a city in front of you. The real-time is not really an issue. There are a few small issues, like when you add new monsters, you have to pause and explain those to everybody. But a lot of the concepts in here, it's like a deck-building game, except you're using tiles. Very cool game. And a year ago, I reviewed the original Eon version of Cosmic Encounter, which I got my hands on. And of course, Cosmic Encounter is one of the greatest games of all time. All right, 5 years ago, I reviewed Stinker, which is in the description described as Bananagrams meets Cards Against Humanity. It's really not that foul of a game. It's more of just, make words up and stuff, but I didn't like it at all. And of course, the name gives me a very easy target there. Anyway, Peace Pack. I don't like Peace Pack. I know a lot of people do. Peace Pack is a bunch of tiles, some cards, some things, and you can make many, many, many games out of it. But I feel it's too generic and too weird looking to make any of those games, and I still haven't played a game with Peace Pack that I thought was that fantastic. Loot and Run. This is a silly little game from Yellow. Yellow was making a lot of silly games like this 5 years ago about pushing your luck. I thought that was a cool idea. Tempura, which is Uno-ish, but I thought was interesting enough as you play these cards with cats and everything. Both those games are very silly, but they worked for me. I took a look at the Blood Rage expansion, the Mystics expansion. This is one I almost always want to play with. It gave you a unit in between your regular units and your leader. Just not something I'd want to play in every game, but a good solid expansion. Pixel Tactics Deluxe. Pixel Tactics is a game I haven't played in a while, but I still think it's a fantastic game as you build a little grid of cards out and you're fighting against your opponent's grid, and where you put a card changes how it works. Archaeology, the new expedition. Archaeology is a great little card game. It's very simple. You're trying to collect cards in front of you. And Phil Walker Harding, this is the first game of his I ever played. A small card game back in the day. This is a much nicer version with more replayability. Definitely one I think that many people should consider putting in their collections. Smash Up. I still like Smash Up a bit. You'll notice my rating has dropped a bit, even though now I have all 133 factions, or however many there are. I just played the Marvel Smash Up. It's fun. It's still a game I'll gladly play. It just moved out of my favorites, per se. But I still think it's good, and it's a great game for people new to the hobby, for sure. Council of Four is a great game. I tried to get this for the for the Dice Tower Essentials. And it's Council of Four, which is definitely a point salad game, but it lets you do combos as time goes by. If I put something here, I get this, then this, then this, then this. Great game. And then Manhattan, another classic game that's came out in 1994, actually. But this is a game about building skyscrapers, designed by Andres Seaforth, the designer of Puerto Rico. Manhattan, a simple game, one of the best welcoming games I know. So those are the reviews I did 1 and 5 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. See you next time.